Now, this is my actual equalette. I was asked to explain this a little better. Basically, what it is a cordelet made of 7 mil line, and it is tied off with the double fisherman's knot you see here. Then to create the PowerPoint, you find the center point of the cordelet, which is here. Then you tie off again 2 limiter knots, overhand knots, about 9 to 10 inches apart, and this creates your double-stranded PowerPoint. This can be used for 2, 3, or 4 placements. Now here I'm beginning to tie the equalette. One side of the equalette is being tied off on a overhand on a bite. One limb of the equalette, whether a 3-point or 4-point, should always be tied off either on an overhand on a bite or figure 8 in a bite. The rest are usually used with clove hitches for easy adjustment. So here now, I'm going to place this in the upper aspect, the most highest piece I have. Now it typically doesn't matter whether you clip the highest or the lowest piece first, but essentially then you would adjust it from there. So now I'm clipping my next highest piece and trying to find where the PowerPoint would roughly be hanging so the limiting knots are essentially about the same height. I tie off this secondary piece, or the second piece, with again a clove hitch. Immediately I see it's a little tight, so here I'm going to be extending it now or changing the clove hitch so I have a bit more room to work with. So easily pulling in a little slack through that clove hitch. Now clipping the third piece in the system, again using a clove hitch to tie it off. But once again, I realize that my PowerPoint isn't equal. I have one limiter knots higher than the other, so I'm looking for that to be relatively equal. So again, the adjustability of the clove hitches allows me to move this down fairly readily. And what that'll do, it'll put the PowerPoint roughly equal between limbs.
I got my PowerPoint much better equal. PowerPoint, get the two beaners.
So now you have your PowerPoint, again double-stranded. You can clip a beaner through each strand of the PowerPoint, and it allows for good equalization. Now because of the double-stranded PowerPoint, you could use each individual beaner, one for your climber and one for you, or you can use both as a single PowerPoint. Again, you can take a third beaner and clip it through those. So again, you have another way of setting up your PowerPoint. And yet another way is to use a single beaner, tying into it as you would with a sliding X with a looped strand at the back. Again, this system, regardless of the anchor point you use, allows for very good equalization. Regardless of the direction of pull, it can be off-center, and it'll still equalize very well between all strands, particularly between the two limbs.